welcome in to another episode of the Fantasy Football Show. I'm Smitty. This is Dr. Raj. You can find him over on Instagram at RSF49ers. Go check him out. Nice jersey.
Thanks, man. Rip
I,
Kobe, man. I love Kobe.
I like
I
it.
had I got it was like a late birthday present. And I love this jersey, man. So I'm glad I got it. I've been waiting to wear it. I finally wore it today, man. Kobe
I
Bryant
like
was a
it.
legend. And it was unfortunate that he passed away this year, man.
Yeah, it's been pretty depressing whenever you can like wrap your head around it. What's up, Tommy? We're going over the 2020 NFL schedule breakdown. We're going to talk fantasy. We're going to talk good matchups. We're going to go over, of course, the 49er schedule. We're going to go over the Cardinal schedule. That's my hometown team. So
Your
we'll go over
boys, your
we'll go
boys.
over all that. What's up, Jose? What's up, Derek? What's up, Frake? Tommy? Welcome everybody. Okay, so Dr. Raj's schedule came out. We'll talk about the Niners in a minute.
Sure.
I think we'll talk generally about the whole schedule. What's up, Ronaldo? So let me share the screen here, and we'll pop this schedule up. Here is the schedule. We're going to go over the team on the left is the team that you're going to be we're going to be reading off. So Arizona, and then their first game is obviously at San Francisco, which couldn't have been more. We could have designed that any better because we got Dr. Raj's Niners against my Cardinals. It's in San Francisco. Dr. Raj, you want to just say it? Right now, the Niners are going to win this game. You're going to say?
I mean, we've talked about this the other day on live, and I didn't say that we're just going to straight up come in and win this game. This is going to be a tough game. The Niners coming off a big Super Bowl loss. We got a lot of anger. We got the revenge tour, as they're calling it. We're going to be playing with a lot of anger this season, and revenge on our mind. But Arizona's a good up-and-coming team. We've talked about it so much on the show lately. Arizona's got a good team. I respect them. Isaiah Simmons was a great draft pick. Kyler Murray's in his second year. He could only get better. He's got weapons. DeAndre Hopkins, I can't believe, we still blowing my mind. You got Larry Legend, Larry Fitzgerald on the other side, Kenyon Drake. Good team. How's the O-line going to hold up? That's the key. How's the defense going to be? Because that's got to improve. But they have a solid team. I wouldn't be surprised if they give San Francisco all they can handle and make it down to the wire. It's a division game, NFC West. To start the year, it's not an easy game. Arizona always gives the Niners fits, but I do think the Niners are going to end up winning this game. Home opener, but really with coronavirus, we don't know if home opener really is going to mean anything. Is home field advantage even going to be a big thing this season? So they might be playing in empty stadiums. It's going to be like a scrimmage. But ultimately, the Niners are the better team, and I expect them to win.
Let's go to the week one schedule and let's break down, say who we think is gonna win. You're gonna give the winning and losing predictions. I'm gonna give the fantasy predictions. Let's go through each
Okay,
matchup and break it down like that. I think that would be fun.
that's
So we're
good.
gonna first game is gonna
Let me
be
look. Let me pull up week one
yeah.
just so I can be on page with you.
Looks
Okay,
like we
week
got the
one.
Texans versus.
Yeah, Texans Chiefs open up the NFL season. That's a good game. Thursday night football.
I like it. That's a great game. You got two running quarterbacks. Who I might add. I think I'm right on this. I'm not positive. We'll find out in a second. But I think majority of the running quarterbacks are on a bye. I think in week 8. I think it's Kyler, Watson, and Lamar. I think are all on a bye in week 8. We'll look at that in a second. But I think week 8 and week 10 are like the bye weeks for pretty much a lot of the big name players. Who's winning this game? So yeah, break it down.
I mean, Chiefs at home, Super Bowl champs, defending their crown, coming in the beginning of the year. They're not losing this game. And the Super Bowl champs, they're going to come in and flex their muscle. Texans are a good team. They got Deshaun Watson, but they lost DeAndre Hopkins. It's going to be an adjustment period for them to see how they play without D-Hop. It's not going to be easy for them to come in and replace him right away. I think they might stumble out the gates and take some time to get their footing. They do have some good players on the team, but I mean, honestly, it's going to be a hard loss to recover from. I like the Chiefs by at least 10 points.
Yeah, I think people are gonna assume Deshaun Watson's gonna struggle way more than I think he will without Hopkins. I think he's just such a dynamic player running the football. The
I agree.
weapons are good enough. Like Cooks may not be a guy that you can count on for all 16 games. He may not be a guy you love for the long term, but we're talking about a player that literally could stretch the field enough to not make up for not having Hopkins there, but to give, if Watson's going to make up for it on the ground or give more work to Fuller. Let's say Fuller stays relatively healthy. The numbers are almost going to be there, man. I don't know that I fear a huge drop off for Deshaun Watson. I think he's kind of a value guy right now in fantasy because he was going like in the 4th round. Now he's dropping to like round 6. Some people are taking him out way after Wilson. Some people are taking him way after guys like he's going like 6-7 for all quarterbacks, which is I think a steal.
That is true. He is a steal this year. I think he's going to be not valued as high. You're right. I agree.
Someone said the name and title of this stream is live stream. Okay, I'll fix that. We had an issue when we first went live and I had to retitle it, so let me retitle it. So live stream, 2020 NFL draft or NFL schedule breakdown.
Breakdown.
Predictions.
Your boy's gonna be playing that game. You know who I'm talking about.
Who?
Your boy, Kansas City running back.
Oh, Clyde Edwards-Helaire?
Rookie,
yeah.
Rookie of the year, right?
Yep, easily.
Yeah, according to Smitty.
Yep, we'll definitely touch on that. No question about it. No question about that. That's
Take it away.
Live show interview. Yes, we'll do all that. Let me save this bad boy, and that way you guys see what you need to see. Okay, now let me break this down from fantasy perspective. So. Got Chiefs. I agree with you. Chiefs are going to win this game. I think they might even win by more. You said 10-point win?
At least, yeah.
At least 10-point win. I think this could be one of those games where it's close in the first half, and then the Chiefs open it up on them. You know what I mean? Track meet style. The Chiefs are a kind of team where literally you better be beating them by halftime because from halftime on, they're going to outwork people.
No, you could be beating them for 3.5 quarters. You just got to beat them in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, true. Well, we'll see how that replays when they run that back in 2020. But Chiefs, I think you're going to have Mahomes throwing for at least 4 TDs in this outing. You're going to have Clyde Edwards-Helaire not used as much as anybody would like, but I bet you he pops off a 20 or 30, 40-yard run or catch. I think Clyde Edwards-Helaire has over 60 total yards and maybe a chance at a touchdown just because they're going to want to use this exciting player that can literally take it house. At any moment, he could get the call. House call? Okay, Clyde Edwards-Helaire to the end zone, please.
I have a bold prediction here, Smitty, real quick.
Yeah.
You're going to like it. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is going to have 100 yards in this game and a touchdown. 100 yards of scrimmage. I don't know what it's going to be, like running pass, but I feel like he's going to come out and have just a big play, and they're going to be like, oh, wow, that's why they drafted him.
Yeah. I think that touch-wise, he won't have what people hope for, but I think all it takes is one carry for this guy to take it 55 yards with a little wiggle. But give me 60 safe yards, a good strong shot at a touchdown as they ease him into the offense. Damian Williams still going to have potentially 40 to 50, 60 total yards, maybe a shot at a touchdown as well. Maybe they give Clyde Edwards-Helaire's touchdown away to Damian in week 1. I could see that happening. I think Tyreek Hill, give him a hundy. Give him 6-7 catches, give him a touchdown, give Kelsey, 80 to 100 yards and a touchdown. And, that's why I think Clyde might grab one of those scores. Kelsey, if I'm drafting, I know you won't like this, but I think you could at least understand it. But I think Kelsey in redraft's my number 1 tight end in fantasy football. But if we're talking dynasty, it's Kittle over the middle, no question about it. But Kelsey, to me, I think he's more capable of having more yardage, probably more capable of having more TDs in his particular offense. They spread it around a lot more. Well, no, I guess you can't really say that because San Fran's going to spread it around too.
Well, we're going to spread it, but here's the thing with Kelsey. I think I agree with one thing that you said. Sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I agree with the thing that you said of touchdown. Kelsey has a higher potential for a higher touchdown potential. Yeah, I mean, 100%. That offense, they throw the ball a lot. They don't run it as much as the Niners, and Kelsey doesn't have to be used in the blocking game as much. So Kelsey, his high volume catching, and that's going to lead to a higher chance of touchdowns. And he's caught a lot more touchdowns. I'm not going to even sit here and say that's not true. I'm a Kittle fan, but I'm a realist. Kelsey is going to be at a higher rate of touchdowns, potentially. I mean, Kittle may break out next season and have a lot of touchdowns, which I'm hoping for. And we got to remember last season, Kittle got a lot of touchdowns called back, so but that doesn't change the fact that Kelsey is at a higher percentage for touchdowns. I agree, yeah.
Give Deshaun Watson 300 passing, playing from behind in the fourth quarter, just airing it out. Give him 3 total TDs, maybe 2 passing, maybe 1 or 2 INTs, and 60 and a touchdown on the ground. David Johnson, I think, is going to come out with a decent game, but nothing that's going to blow people away. He's been working hard, and I will admit some of the workout footage I've seen, I'm a little more impressed than I thought I would be, but I still feel like there's a reason he vanished. From a medical perspective, just a total guesswork, Dr. Raj, because they aren't telling us anything. What do you think went wrong with David Johnson? Did he just lose a step? Like, what? I know he's been banged up, but why did the team not use him? There's got to be a reason why they're like, we're using Drake.
They probably saw that he wasn't ready and he wasn't strong enough. He wasn't making cuts, just like Jerick McKinnon. He had a setback in his knee. He had to get another surgery. David Johnson went through surgery, came back. He wasn't ready. He obviously couldn't shoulder the load of running on that knee, and it was too painful. I 100% believe when that kind of stuff happens, when a person's not getting inserted into the lineup, there's 100% chance that there's aggravation, there's pain, there's swelling. His knees have been through a lot. He was a workhorse, and it grinded his knee. You know how it is when you have knee problems and you're trying to run on it. It's just not a healthy environment for his knee. So they gave him the time off. I mean, he cleared his medical, his physical. So obviously he's cleared. He hasn't played in a year, really. So he's fresh legs. But do I expect him to do anything? No. I think he'll get like 25 yards, nothing. I really am not even high on Josh.
I'm going to go ahead and say like 60 total, maybe a shot at a touchdown. But I think what's going to happen with DJ, he's either going to start off okay and then tail off, or he'll bust the whole way through. I don't see him like getting better as the year goes on. I think that at most we can see him do good and then completely fail people by midseason or late in the year. So I don't see it the other way around. I don't see him getting. I don't see a guy with that kind of workload and usage with knee issues getting better as the season goes along. So mark my words, you invest too high in David Johnson and you will be completely disappointed at some point during the year. And you can look back on and go, oh, he has such a good beginning of the year. He started to get going. If it wasn't for that injury, that's part of why we're predicting that he'll do bad.
He's going to drop because the knee is going to be too much pressure.
It's going to get worse.
He's going to aggravate.
Give me Will Fuller for 80 and a score as long as he enters week 1 healthy. Now, Fuller could tear something just answering the phone. So that's as of today. We're talking about May 9th here. We're approaching.
He's so good. He's got so much potential, but he can't stay healthy.
I mean, rolling the trash can out. We got to find out when's trash day. If it's on Sunday morning and he rolls that thing out, he's got to have that thing rolled out days before because he literally can pull a hammy.
Put him in a bubble.
Rolling the trash can out. That's going to be that team. Let's go to Seattle at the Falcons. Who wins this game? And then I'll break it down from a fantasy perspective. Seattle Falcons.
1 second.
I'll start off with fantasy until you pop back in. So Seattle, I'm going to say Dr. Raj is going to give us the final word on this, but I'm going to say the Seahawks win this game. I don't care if it's in Atlanta. I know Atlanta is going to be a pass-happy offense that just got Todd Gurley, who I think is just like DJ going to, in time, disappoint you, even if both of those guys, DJ and Gurley, are like the same player to me. If they both start off doing well, they will break down and get worse as the year goes on. They will not, as younger running backs without a heavy workload in their history, they won't get better as the season goes on. So give me Seattle in this one. I think Russell Wilson's going to play tough. I think DK Metcalf's going to turn into a second-round type talent. I'm not too sure what's going to happen at the running back position long-term, but if Carson's healthy, Carson's going to start and do well for as long as he's the starter. And Russell Wilson's just going to be a baller. And Lockett might have a very undervalued he might be very undervalued at this point because everyone's so high on DK. These are 2 good receivers, and I'm really thinking the Seahawks will win this one. But I do like Ridley. Tommy, I do like Ridley as well. Tommy says he loves Ridley. If you look back on my predictions last year, I had Ridley as a huge breakout candidate. So you're talking to the right guy. I love Ridley. Seahawks or Falcons? It's in Atlanta. Who are you going with?
Sorry. Seahawks, Atlanta. I got the Seahawks, but I think it's going to be closer than people think. Seattle on the road, sometimes they're hit or miss, Seahawks, Atlanta's got an improved team. I know Todd Gurley, I'm not high on him, but I think he's going to make a difference. You got Julio Jones, you got Calvin Ridley. I think they're ready to play, step up, and they got Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan's not too shabby, but Russell Wilson, DK Metcalf, Lockett, Carson hopefully is healthy this season. I think that Seahawks come out fire on all cylinders and beat the Falcons at home, but I think it's going to be a close game. They played each other tough last season, and I expect another close game. I do like that game.
Guys,
I think Seattle wins, maybe by like 6-7 points. It's going to be a close game.
Okay. So I have Russell Wilson for, let's give him like 260. Give him 3 total TDs. Give me 55 on the ground. Give Carson a good 70 rushing, strong shot at a touchdown. And give me DK for 100 and a touch and 6 receptions. Give me Lockett for 80 and a touchdown. I think both Lockett and DK could have good years. Now, on the Falcons side of the football, I think Gurley's going to, like I said, just like DJ, they're the same player. DJ and Gurley are like the same exact player. Could start off the season okay, but he will only get worse as the wear and tear gets accumulates. So I think if Gurley does have like an 80 total yard game and a 50% shot at a touchdown, people are going to walk out of there going, Gurley's going to have value. I'm selling high on that. But I think you could give him like 60, 70 total yards, maybe a 50% chance at a touchdown in this game. I think Ridley's going to really have a big year. I think it's hard to put him ahead of Julio just yet, but I think that baton's going to be passed very, very soon. And Ridley's going to – this is Ridley's third year? I guess it's his third year. So that's typically the year receivers have that breakout season. So we could see 1,000, 1,100 yards, 1,200 yards out of Ridley in 2020 and 7 to 9 touchdowns. Now, if he has even close to that amount of yardage, Julio's known to not have big TD seasons, so Ridley could outscore him essentially in 2020. Wouldn't shock me that much at all. But I think that you got to bank on Julio being a top 15 overall player, and you got to draft Ridley, in the 3-4 rounds later. We're not talking about anything close ADP wise. I'm just saying, don't be shocked if Julio, that foot, starts to bother him, that wear and tear starts adding up, and you start seeing him miss 4 or 5 games each season moving forward. That could definitely happen with Julio.
That's true. I mean, he is getting older. He's never been a high volume touchdown guy, like you said, but I still think he has one more really solid, good season. But you know what? That you're right. He's getting older. Maybe the injuries catch up. Oh man, that's tough. That is true. But I would still think he has one more elite season. Hey, but look at Larry Fitzgerald. He's been killing it for years, man. And every year that's he's going to slow down. He's going to slow down. Larry Fitzgerald has done it with some terrible quarterbacks, but Julio Jones is not Larry Fitzgerald. Anyways, next game, Eagles-Redskins.
Yep.
Eagles are going to dominate this game. Redskins, I mean, I know they got Terry McLaurin, Chase Young, great pick on defense. First game, I mean, what to expect? He might have a big impact on defensive side, but I still think the Eagles come out. They got too much weapons on offense, and what's his name? Quarterback for the Redskins, second year, Haskins. Why can't I think of his name? This is a big season. Can he take the next step? Can he step up? Can he become a good quarterback? Has to be expected, or that's to be something that we need to keep an eye on. I don't know. I'm not too high on him, but I think the Eagles are going to dominate this game, and it's going to be early for Haskins. He may start to develop and get better as the season goes on, but he showed nothing last season in my eyes.
Yeah, give me 220, one TD to McLaurin, and 1 or 2 INTs out of Haskins as he struggles in this one a little bit. Give me for Wentz, 245, 2 TDs. I think Sanders has a good shot. I like Sanders and I'm worried about Sanders. Sanders is getting drafted in like the second round, and that's a little too high for me. So he's cracked my top 5 running backs to avoid in 2020. But I preface by saying, out of all the running backs in my top 5 avoid running backs list, he's the one running back of that 5 that I feel has the most potential to play to the level and expectation level that everybody has for him. So I'm not calling him a bust. I'm more so saying this guy has disappointment, type situation brewing if you take him too high. I think he can start off the year really well. I think in this game he's going to have close to give him 100 total yards and a really strong shot at a touchdown. Maybe that's a receiving touchdown. Maybe that's one of Wentz's receiving touchdowns. Passing touchdowns that he throws. Give Zach Ertz 70, 65 yards and a touchdown. I don't know that I'm going to expect too much out of this game fantasy-wise other than, Ertz doing good, other than Sanders having potentially 100 and a touchdown, so that's good. And then on the other side of the football, I don't expect much from that rushing attack, not yet at least. And I think McLaurin's the only, bright spot for the Redskins in week 1. I think he has, 80, 90 yards and a touchdown, and they just throw a ton in the third and fourth quarter. So McLaurin's going to be okay on a losing team. That actually is a good recipe for good stats for a wide receiver. So Dolphins at Patriots.
Oh man, hold up. Dolphins, Patriots. I mean, this is way different than before. The first game without Tom Brady. This is the first game for the Patriots without Tom Brady. I mean, we get to really see what Bill Belichick is without Tom Brady. His defense is stingy. It's very nasty. We know the defense is going to come hitting hard, but what about the Dolphins? Are they going to have Tua on week 1? We don't know. I know the fans are going to want to. I don't think they're going to throw Tua in the mix too early. Maybe week 6 he might come in, week 5, that the fans are going to want to clamor, but you never know. Whether Tua plays or not is to be determined. Is Stidham going to be something for the Patriots? I don't know. But this is going to be a weird... He could. Belichick... Because, look, if Belichick makes Stidham into something, then obviously it's all the system. If this guy can figure it out, Belichick's a legend. I mean, he already is, but even more of a legend. So this is a weird game because normally you would say, the Patriots are going to come and dominate this game. I think it's going to be a lot closer than people think. I think the Dolphins can make something. They've really improved this offseason. Hell of a draft. They added Matt Breida, who's going to come in there and play with a chip on his shoulder. They got Devontae Parker. The Dolphins are actually a very improved team. I can see the Dolphins coming into Gillette and winning this game. But there's no way Belichick loses this game post-Brady. He's going to win this first game. He's going to look like a genius, and they're going to win this game.
I got a prediction. I think that Stidham walks out of this game and steals the magic from Fitzmagic, and people start coining him Jarrett Stid Magic or Stidham Magic, Stid Magic, whatever. He's going to walk away doing well in this game, being efficient enough and kind of proven Bill Belichick not right, but just on the right track, maybe on the right course. Stidham looks good. I think Stidham. I think Stidham has a real shot. I'm not calling him elite yet or anything like that. Crazy. I'm just saying, don't close the door on this guy being a potential find. And I'm talking about find, not just good, but like a potential find. Like that. Belichick knows what he's doing.
He does, and nobody expected Tom Brady to be Tom Brady. Nobody expected. He was a 7th-round pick. Tom Brady was Tom Brady, and Belichick made Tom Brady a legend. I mean, of course, he had to play the game and do what he had to do, but he bought into the system, and the kid, he became a legend. If he does it to Stidham, unbelievable. So we'll see. I'm not going to count him out.
And from a fantasy perspective, he might be throwing a lot if the Dolphins are up, So, but I think this is going to be a relatively disappointing overall fantasy.
No, I don't. I think Matt Breida is going to kill it. I think Devontae Parker's going to have a good game. I think N'Keal Harry's going to come out and go. I hope
N'Keal Harry does.
This game is going to be great. Trust me, you're going to be like, oh my God, this was one of the best fantasy. I'm going to tell you, there's going to be a lot of sleepers in this game.
We'll revisit that. I hope N'Keal Harry gets. I hope he's on fire at some point in
He's
2020.
Going to blow it out of the water. Who's going to cover the man?
I think people are so quick to pull the plug on certain predictions and players. Like he was a rookie. He was a rookie last year, guys. I can't tell you how many people go, well, you missed that one. Are we ready to admit that the N'Keal Harry experiment failed? No, I'm not ready to admit that at all. N'Keal Harry was a rookie. Some receivers take until their 3rd year
and he
get
was
going.
hurt. He was
And
a
people
rookie, and
say
he
that
was
I
hurt.
busted on that prediction already. I said within 1 to 3 years he would eventually turn into a top 5 to 10 wide receiver. And as far as I know, Dr. Raj, he was hurt all last year and really is entering his second year. So I think the prediction could still stand until we see this guy
People
totally fail, which I don't think he will.
people are so quick to just let folks. It blows my mind how quick people just
Yeah.
are
And they're quick to
giving
jump
up
back
on
on,
people.
too. Watch them be
Yep,
like,
yep.
oh,
And
yeah,
they go,
dude,
oh, I almost like that kill here. Yeah, I hate it, dude. Yeah, you like that?
Okay, yeah. Parker, give me 70 yards and a score. Um, I just don't see anything else from that Dolphins side of the football doing. I mean, Gesicki, I know a lot of people like him, but I'm just going to pump the brakes on Gesicki until we find out, we see a little more consistency. But give me Parker as the only real Dolphins scorer in fantasy-wise. I don't know what to predict from the running game. Is it White? Is it Michelle? Is it both? Are they both going to have 40 yards? I don't know that I'm ready to commit to any one of those running backs from a fantasy perspective. So literally, it comes down to N'Keal Harry having 70 and a score and Parker having 70 and a score. And that's where I'm going to leave it at that. Stidham impressing, but maybe not being a fantasy monster or anything. But I think he'll start, people might be like, okay, let's take a look at Stidham in week 2. I just think he's got upside. So Green Bay at the Vikings. And I think the Patriots win that game. Yeah, I agree. So Green Bay at the Vikings. Who we liking there?
Let's see. We are looking at Green Bay and the Vikings. You know what? I'm going to pick the Vikings on this game. I know a lot of people are going to be like, Green Bay. Just hand it to Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers. You know, I am probably the only guy. No, I'm maybe not the only guy. I think the Packers are overrated. I really do. They showed me what they were worth twice last season against the Niners. We smacked them around. And Aaron Rodgers, he's still a great quarterback. He's one of the all-time greats, but he's declining. I just don't know. There's a lot of controversy there. There's new coach, but is it really going to make a difference? I think that it's going to be shootout. Well, the Vikings are a good team too. They've improved. They had a good offseason. The Vikings at home, that's a tough defense. It's a tough matchup. It's a division game. They're not going to sit there and lay down against the Green Bay at home. I think the Vikings win this game. You know what I mean? I really do. I think the Vikings are going to win this game.
They could. They could. I think that the Packers are not. I think Aaron Rodgers is not done. I think the Packers 13-3 last year, and so many people crap on their season last year. Like Aaron Rodgers has lost it. No, he hasn't. Aaron Rodgers is, in my opinion, still he's 36 years old. He's 2 or 3 years away from this conversation, in my opinion. I think people jumped the gun on him, his decline. He had no Devontae Adams for a big part of the year last year. Even when Adams returned, he was banged up. They just revamped everything to a run-heavy approach, and I think that Rodgers has a good 290, 300. Give me 3 TDs in this one. Give 1 or 2 to Adams. We'll call it 2. We'll give Devontae Adams 100 yards and 2 scores in this game. I'm gonna say he's one of the top scorers of the week, if not the number 1 wide receiver of the week. And give me on the Vikings side of the football. I think Cook's gonna have over 100 total yards. He'll figure out a way to completely have those moments where you're like, damn, this guy is worthy of being a top 4 overall pick. Because some people are like kind of back and forth on that right now. I'm seeing a lot of chatter about how people are feeling uncomfortable about taking Cook at number 4. You got Stefanski moving over to Cleveland. How's that offense going to change? Are they going to run the same amount of plays through the running game that they did last year, or are they going to morph back to more of a passing or equal type of split, passing and rushing? I think that Cook's going to answer some questions in this one. Now, do I think you need to cuff Cook to Madison? Absolutely. Like if you walk out of your draft, given how cheap Madison is, if you walk out of your draft with Dalvin Cook and you don't have Madison cuffed to him, literally shame on you. That is something that you should have done because it cost you nothing. Reach a whole round if you have to get Madison cuffed to Cook, but you need to. But for the games that Cook is on the field, and he is injury prone, but for the games he's on the field, he's going to be a top 4 overall player. So as far as like the receiving game and Cousins, I think Thielen's going to have a pretty decent game. Give him, I think my standard good game would be like 70 yards and a touch so far. So I think he's capable of getting that kind of action. And then, we'll ease in Jefferson. I don't know what to expect out of the rest of that Vikings offense other than Cook and Thielen. I'm not going to count on Cousins. I'm not going to count on Aaron Jones. I guess we got to talk about Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones, I'd say give him 100 total yards and a score, but his volume is going to be in question a little bit as I think A.J. Dillon gets settled and absorbs the offense. But for week one, it's going to be the Aaron Jones show. So I'm pretty much a sell high later on him, but invest now and sell high. I think Aaron Jones is a great guy to trade later on. What else we got here?
We got the next game, Colts Jaguars.
Okay.
I think the Colts. Let's go either way because Phillip Rivers, new offense, new system, new team. You got Minshew magic. Is he going to take the guy Shark? I think this is going to be a relatively good game. Another division, a lot of division games to open up the season. It's kind of crazy. I think Jaguars pulled this game out, but I don't know. I really don't. I don't know. Phillip Rivers, is he going to really mesh in that team? T.Y. Hilton's good, but I see the Jaguars. Minshew magic.
Yeah. So I think the fact that Rivers won't be, fully, the rapport won't quite be there. I don't see Jonathan Taylor getting unleashed yet. I think they're going to sprinkle him in, but we're just going to have a team that's not quite on the same page. Everybody's not going to be on the same page. Whereas, like you said, Minshew, I just feel like it's going to be in Jacksonville. It's going to be in rhythm, like is basically the best way to put it. Chark's going to do well. Give Chark 80, 90 yards and a touchdown. Fournette will do well for as long as he's on the field in that lineup. I'm a big Fournette doubter, but not from the talent perspective. And if he's healthy and if he's a starter in week one, he's going to do well and he's going to be a nice trade high candidate. So give him like 100 total yards and a touchdown in week one. That won't mean that I feel wrong. I could see people now, oh my God, Spitty, Fournette at 100 and a score. How do you feel about your prediction now? Like it's a marathon.
Yeah,
people.
It's a marathon.
So sell high on Fournette at some point. Now Fournette could get traded between now and then. Tough to say. The Jacksonville Jaguars don't want him. That's pretty evident at this point. But give me Chark for a good 80, maybe 90 yards and a touchdown. I think Mack could have like 60 total yards. Hines could have like 30 or 40 receiving. Jonathan Taylor might do okay on the ground, but I don't know he's going to pull much in or play a lot of third down work. You got to learn pass protection on that team. You got to mesh with your quarterback. They already got Rivers coming in there without a lot of experience in that offense, so they're not going to throw a damn rookie in there. I don't think as often as people would like in week one.
No, yeah, I agree. It's tough to see. I think he may show some flashes, but I don't think he's going to be like go crazy, like oh my God. But hey, you never know. Again, like you said, the biggest thing is chemistry. It's going to take some time for all that to mesh, but the Jaguars seem to have that already with the Minshew and Shark and stuff. But next game, snoozer. Put yourself to bed. Bears versus Lions. Bears are terrible. Yeah. Lions are going to win this game. I don't see any relevance in any team on this.
Yeah. Lions are going to win. Stafford's back. As long as he's back, they'll do well. Galladay's a beast. Give Galladay 100 yards and a touchdown.
Sleeper. T.J. Hawkinson this season. T.J. Hawkinson, tight end, big time. He's going big time year two.
I love Hawk. I think Hawk, after his 100-yard, was it 2 touchdowns or 100-yard a touchdown in week one?
Yeah, he dropped.
This is Gronk 2.0, and then he vanished for the entire year.
Kittle too. He was Kittle. They thought he was Kittle too because he went to Iowa. You
know what? That's all you need to see though, out of a guy, because I think that as a rookie, it's hard to do well as a rookie tight end. It's hard to get 100 yards and a touchdown, let alone I think it was 2 or whatever he had. As a rookie, you don't just accidentally fall into that stat line as a rookie tight end. Like that shows a lot just right there in itself. And we already knew he was a great prospect coming in. So to see a 100-yard game and a touchdown of that guy that early, I think he's in for a top 7 to 10 tight end season in 2020. So I'm a full agreement there. And I think it's a good game. So yeah, give Galladay 100 and a touchdown. Give Hawkinson like 55 and a score. Give Stafford at least 2 scores, 260, 280, 283, 300 in the air.
I don't think it's a good game.
Foles is going to Well, I'm not saying it's going to be a great game. I just mean I think you're going to get a couple scores out of, and they're just going to beat the hell out of the Bears. The
Okay,
Bears,
yeah, I see.
yeah, the Bears. No,
They're
I'm
gonna
not saying it's a
beat the
great game.
brakes out of them, dude.
Yeah, no, I mean you've got Foles who could do well maybe, but entering a situation where I don't feel like he's going to be supported by a good
No,
a good coaching staff that's going to help
no,
him
it's so
thrive.
bad
No,
there.
they're gonna
They
they're gonna ruin
they
his
just
talent if he has
they're gonna
anything
ruin
left.
him. They're gonna lambast him, and it's gonna be a bad situation. I mean, he's got talent, but that's just a bad environment for him. That team is on the downfall. Lions are gonna smack him around.
If
Stafford will give you 300 yards, 4 touchdowns. I'm
if
calling it 4 touchdowns right now, baby.
if the Bears knew what they were doing, they would run Montgomery over 22 times in this game to make it a contest. And
100%.
and,
You would love that.
I would love that, but they're not going to do. Nagy does not know what he's doing, and he's proved it time and time again. So I'm until he proves otherwise, I'm not counting on Montgomery to deliver. But I think not Montgomery's got the talent. As for
Yeah,
Swift,
he's got it.
guys, I'm not buying in. I think they haven't had a good running back in Detroit since Barry Sanders. It's
Swift
been
is going to be the Barry Sanders 2.0. That's what everybody's saying. I don't buy it though.
no.
You can't be Barry Sanders.
Not
There's
to
only one Barry
mention,
Sanders.
again, everybody, rookies are not going to be getting even like 50% of the volume in week one. And,
You know
and
what, though,
unless
Smitty?
Carry-on's hurt, I think that you're looking at a total crap show type running back by committee that helps nobody.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate on this one because I think, just like we talked about your boy Clyde Edwards. Clyde Edwards, your draft crush, your boy. I think Swift comes in and has a couple of plays where you're like, holy crap, that's what. I think he has like a big play, breaks off a play, gets a touchdown. He's gonna be somewhat relevant, and then people are gonna be like, okay, and then he's gonna be like we talked about Hawk, where everybody is like high on him, has that big first game. He might, not really have a consistent grind, but I think he's gonna open up big and play pretty nice on the opener because Chicago sucks. That's my opinion on Chicago. They just suck. So I think he'll have a couple big plays there.
Yeah. What do we got now? So we both agree
Ravens,
Lions
Browns
will
at
win that. Okay.
Ravens. Yeah, Lions we both got.
Yeah.
Browns at Ravens.
What you got?
I almost want to say there's going to be an upset here because it's a division game. The Browns play the Ravens tough. This is a make or break year for Baker Mayfield. OBJ, I know he says it every year. I'm focused. But you got to think OBJ is going to bounce back this season. They got Juice Landry. They got a good backfield. They got weapons. They got so many good players on this team, But the Ravens added some great players on that offense. Their running game is going to be dynamic. Lamar Jackson, can you stop him? The reigning MVP, it's going to be tough. I think it's going to be a closer game than people think, and I think the Browns are going to make it a game because last season they were overhyped. Everybody thought the Browns were a Super Bowl champion team, Super Bowl contender, and they didn't live up to the hype. But I think this season the Browns will be improved. I see the Ravens winning this game, though.
Yeah, the Browns will be improved, but the Ravens are going to beat them into the ground.
No way. I don't see it.
And I think that I mean it's in Baltimore. I think Lamar's just going to have an amazing game. I like J.K. Dobbins a lot for the future, but again, the theme here with the rookies is they'll be eased in, so don't expect too much out of J.K. in week one, but I do like him for the long term, just so you guys know. I think Hollywood Brown is the breakout player in 2020 that feels like Chark or guys that people count on as like a potential top 10 to 12 player at their position. I think Hollywood Brown is going to come out on fire in 2020. I think Hollywood Brown has well over 100 yards and a score in this one. He's going to be unguardable in 2020. He's been working on his footwork and his speed in the offseason. I've seen videos of him running drills and doing footwork, and he looks phenomenal. People ripping on his size are going to be very, very impressed with his ability in 2020. Give me the Ravens by over 10, easy.
Wow, bro. It's going to be I can see a 10-point. I think it'll be close. And then the Ravens will close it out and win. I can see a 10-point game. But I think it's going to be a close, competitive ball game. That's what I'm trying to say. It's going to be a competitive game. OBJ is getting 2 touchdowns this game. Mark it. You remember, keep this receipt. OBJ 2 touchdowns in this
I
game.
do feel like Odell's going to be a good value this year, and I think Odell.
I really do.
There's a couple leagues where I've drafted him, and I like auto picked or something, like doing a live stream or something, and I'm actually kind of liking having him on 1 or 2 of my teams because I feel like
I do too.
I don't want him in a lot of leagues because he burned me so bad last year, and he's burned everybody before. But I feel like he's got the upside to be a top 5 to 10 wide receiver anytime he's on the field and healthy, and he's working hard, and he looks like he's taking things seriously. So I'm pretty excited. Yeah. And like you said, the Bears the Browns are going to be improved. I think it was coaching. A lot of it was coaching.
It was coaching.
Then it steamrolled into head games for Baker, and if Baker can shake that and I think recover, they're going to have a good year, a better year than people I think. I
agree.
But can he shake it? I don't know if Baker can shake all the negativity and the downward spiral that's kind of ensued.
It's all mental for him. This is a make or break season for Baker. If he doesn't put it together and get it together, his career's over. This is it. This is make or break for Baker. I think he has potential. Like, I know a lot of people, they would say Baker's terrible, he's garbage, he's over it. Baker has talent. I've seen this guy play so many times in college. Like, this guy's a very talented quarterback. I really believe in this guy. I just think it's at this point, it's mental. And for these guys, that when it gets to that point, they have to be able to flip that switch and say, can I take this step? Can I get over this? Can I overcome this? Because these guys hit a wall. They're young.
Yeah, it's hard to recover from a downward spiral like Baker was kind of in.
And they're going from being the best to not even being the best in the league, because there's better people in the NFL than in college. You're not the best anymore. You have to get to that point. So
he's prove it before I believe him ever again. Baker Mayfield burned so many people last year. I think Juju would be another example, but someone I do believe could bounce back in a major way.
I believe in Juju.
I like Juju.
Juju was based on situation. But with Baker,
mixed with injury and all that.
Yeah, and the quarterback, and it just was a horrible situation. I think Baker he's either going to be Johnny Manziel, or he's going to be or he's going to be like Mark Brunell. Mark Brunell was a solid quarterback, serviceable quarterback, got them wins. He can either be that route, or he's going to be Johnny Manziel, or a serviceable quarterback.
Let me answer 2 questions here. Just joined. Who did you guys pick between the Vikings and Packers? I said Packers. Raj said Vikings. So we split it.
Baby.
Dried Ocean wants to know: did you get the car yet, Smitty? I got the car a while ago. If you're talking about
a while back.
Yeah, it's been a while. I've been driving that sucker on a bunch of lives. I was gonna show my car buying because Dr. Raj, I'm good at buying a car. I'm good at negotiating because of my fantasy football, angles.
I could see that.
I walked into the manager desk. I'm like, look, I'm not gonna BS around. What do you guys want to sell that car for? And basically, I did all the negotiating at the manager's desk without even sitting down with the car guy. And I hit the gong or whatever, where you sell the car and you hit the whatever. And I did that I think it was 14 minutes in. There was a record car buying experience for them. But I'm good at buying a car. So I bought a $27,000 Honda hatchback turbo, shift paddle turbo, and it's got all blacked out trim, but it's red. It's $27,000 on the sticker, which clearly they're just racking it up. But I got it for $20,000, I believe, and that's what the base models are 19.5 or whatever. So I basically got it. I wanted it for the base model price, and then I made them give me $2,000 trade in on a car that wasn't probably worth a wash. It was potentially worth a little less. So I got that sucker at a good deal. But I did it on my Instagram live pretty much. I didn't do the whole negotiation or anything on the live, but I was checking in constantly. Look, they're thinking about it, or hey, they got it now. I'm waiting. It was funny. Okay.
Nice.
Where are we at now?
Who we got next? I'm in a move spot.
I was gonna say, give Ingram 80 yards rushing and a score. Give Nick Chubb 110 on the ground, maybe 120 on the ground and a touchdown. Even though they struggle in this game, I think Nick Chubb breaks off a few big runs. I think he's going to be a bright spot. I think Kareem Hunt could have 40, 50 total yards. And Kareem Hunt's one of my favorite, go-get players for 2020 in whether you stash him on your bench or you actually start him at flex, I think Kareem Hunt's going to be really good, even in that role, that sharing role. And if he ever gets a chance to start in this Stefanski offense, which it did, we saw what they did with Dalvin Cook last year, the Vikings with Stefanski. I think there's a really, 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 really good shot you see Nick Chubb have a top 5 running back season in Cleveland, regardless of how they do through the air. I just think they run him a ton. Stefanski runs everything through the running game, win or lose. So he's kind of like, I think Chubb's protected into volume that you would sometimes say on a team that could struggle. And you think the Browns are going to do better than they did last year, so that's good news. So they should have a balanced attack. But even let's say you're pessimistic about the Browns, they're going to run so much regardless because that's what Stefanski does, that I think Chubb and Hunt together, especially if you have them cuffed, are like guaranteed top 6 to 10 running backs. Or the duo guarantees you one top 6 to 10 running back. And you'll know who to start each week. They're not going to roll a committee out there. It's going to be one guy. The only risk you have is if like Chubb were playing and got hurt and you got screwed that game. But that's how I think about that. Okay, sorry, Jets and Bills. Oh, another lambast. The Bills are going to crush them. I assume you're going to.
Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs. That team is so good in the AFC East. They'll probably win that division. This is a team that's on the rise. They should definitely win this game. Easy. They can press the snooze button and win. Sam Darnold, can he take it to the next level this season? We all thought they were going to get him CeeDee Lamb or Jerry Jeudy or Henry Ruggs. They got him an offensive line that was smart, but now he needs more weapons. Le'Veon Bell, is he going to materialize or anything in this offense?
Bella's one more good year, and unfortunately, no one. No, I'm saying after I finish this, you're gonna. I think we're on the same page. No one's gonna know it because he won't be able to showcase it. Like it's kind of like you're gonna write him off as if he still sucked or he busted or whatever. He's down going downhill when it's really a situation. He's going to literally decline because of situation. Gase doesn't want him there. Nobody wants him there. And I don't know why they can't trade him. If Hopkins can get traded, if DJ's contract can get traded, why can't they figure out a way to get a team that needs a running back and they need to win now? Lev Bell, I just wish Lev Bell was somewhere else. I think he really could have one more top 5 to 10 running back season left, and we just won't see it. No one will know it's there.
Yeah, that's a waste of a game. Bills win.
All right.
I'm ready to move on.
Raiders, okay, I agree with you. I think Bills are going to have a great season. Raiders at Panthers. This is kind of a tough one because Raiders are putting their pieces together. They're making it better. They're making this team better and better. They're going to run the ball well. But, McCaffrey, what are you thinking here? What do you think of Bridgewater? What do you think of McCaffrey? And is McCaffrey going to have as good a year?
You know me. I like Teddy B. I think he's the right quarterback for this team. I think he's going to be an upgrade for them. And CMC, he's a monster. Home game is going to be weird for them not having Luke Kuechly. I can never pronounce his name. Not having Luke on defense, retired this offseason. How's their defense going to be? Is it going to take a step back? Carolina is one of those teams where they're so hard to predict, so hard to navigate on how they do. But I really like the Raiders on this game. I think they're a tough team. They're a hard-nosed team. They're gritty. They have a very underrated defense. And they have some good players on offense. They got Henry Ruggs. They have they have a great running game. Can David Carr take the next level? David Carr's been, and I'm going to take some heat by Niner fans because I'm going to say this. He's actually been a pretty solid player over the last couple of years. Like he's not horrible, but he's done well. There's been some times where I'm like, shit, David Carr's played pretty well. I mean, there's some times where David Carr has played horrible, but that's the Raiders. They didn't always have, the weapons, but now he has no excuses. This can be a year where he breaks out, or if he doesn't, then they got to move on from him. But I think the Raiders can sneak this game. This is their first game as the Las Vegas Raiders, but I ultimately think that the Panthers will eke this game out. The home team, I like Teddy Bridgewater in a close one.
Okay. I'm going to say yes. I agree. I think McCaffrey's just too lethal.
Yeah.
I think the Raiders have a good shot at winning this game, but it's in Carolina. Not that home field advantage might not matter, like you said.
Might not matter.
No fans, especially in week 1. It might not matter.
Might not matter.
So give me McCaffrey, 140 total yards and at least one touchdown. DJ Moore, I think, is getting overdrafted, but still very talented, and I think he has a good 70 and a touchdown. Put him in that standard 70 and a score slot. I think from the Raiders side of the football, the only guy I'm going to count on at all, well, two guys. Waller, I think Waller's consistent, man, and I think Waller's going to be a top 4 tight end, and somehow people either have him there or like outside their top 6. It's crazy when I see rankings on Waller. Give Waller, 80 and a touchdown in this one. Give Jacobs over 100 on the ground, and they're going to sprinkle in more receptions and receiving duties as the season goes along. Maybe week 1 isn't an explosion from last year's usage in the passing game, but I think he definitely by midseason will be firing on good PPR cylinders. But give him at least 120 total yards and a good strong shot at a touchdown. Because of Waller and Jacobs, this could be a closer game than people that like hate the Raiders might think. But I think in the end, McCaffrey can carry this team. And we'll see what Bridgewater's got, man. It could take him a little while to get adjusted, or they can just run, and especially in this situation, be like, look, we're going to run the McCaffrey, into the ground in weeks 1, 2, and 3 to get Bridgewater adjusted. That could be a good or bad thing for McCaffrey. He'll score a lot, but he's had some of the highest usage totals of any running back in football the last couple of years, and it has me really worried about his long-term value.
Yeah, we'll talk about that soon because we talked about this last season, but I think they're going to have to really lean on CMC to begin the season because you're right. Teddy B, he's got to feel the offense. He's got to get used to it. He's got to kind of build that rapport with the team. He's not just going to come in and say, okay, boom, man, I'm ready to go. But I like Teddy, but you're right. They're going to have to really lean on McCaffrey. And early on, he might get worn out. And by the end of the season, might take its toll on him, but that's another story for another day.
This might not be a popular approach or opinion, but we're obviously sharing kind of the same thinking. So I think we're in like minds right here, but other people might disagree. I'm not saying avoid McCaffrey by any means, but McCaffrey might be one of the most ideal sell high candidates once you're not even at midway, like a slightly before midway through the season, because it's possible that running backs don't always repeat, amazing seasons like McCaffrey already has. So he's already kind of like defied that in a way that, because a lot of times, the top running back never finishes near the top 1 or 2 the next year. I mean, it's happened, but McCaffrey feels like a great sell high. When I say sell high, I don't say sell him for anything. I don't say sell him no matter what. I'm just saying if you can trade into a Barkley somehow because McCaffrey starts off on a tear, if you can go ahead and trade for like a Mike Thomas and a Mahomes from somebody that drafts Mahomes, and let's say Danny Dimes goes off in week 1, week 2, week 3, and someone has themselves a top 6 quarterback in Danny Dimes, and they're like, I got Mahomes. You might be able to do something crazy with McCaffrey that you didn't think you could, and so he's just a good player to potentially think about.
I agree.
Because that workload, man, how many players have had Christian McCaffrey's workload and played 7 elite years? Not a lot. It's
not a lot.
Running back short. Running backs have short shelf lives to begin with, and you overwork a guy. It's tough, and he's he's a big dude for his size, but he's still a smaller type back in some ways, the way he's built. So
I agree. Next one. This game, I got a lot of good thoughts on this. Bengals and Chargers. At the Bengals, Joe Burrow makes his NFL debut against the Chargers, the powder blue Chargers. What are your thoughts on this game? I'll give you mine.
I think the Chargers. I mean, the problem is you have Tyrod Taylor, who a lot of people are not quite sure, has what it takes to thrive at the NFL level from a starting quarterback perspective. And then you have a guy who's a rookie. So we have two potentially, struggling week 1 situations for both quarterbacks. So I think it comes down to the supporting cast. So I like the Chargers supporting cast a lot more than I like the Bengals supporting cast. And I know that's not popular because some people love Joe Mixon, and I don't blame them from a talent perspective. And in week 1, if he's on the field and he doesn't do anything boneheaded in the offseason to prevent that, he's going to have a good week 1. He's going to have a good week 2 potentially in terms of like volume. In this game, I think because I think he could face a lot of 8-man fronts from weeks 1 through 8 and 9 as Joe Burrow gets adjusted. But in this particular game, he might do okay because I think these teams are going to be pretty close. It'll be a close battle. And I'm going to go with the Chargers and say that I'm going to trust Eckler, Keenan Allen, Hunter Henry, and the fact that Tyrod Taylor is, I think he's proven enough for me to consider him a good option here in this matchup. We'll see what happens as the season moves along. I'm not sure if he's got what it takes for the long term, but I feel like he's, like the comment Dry Ocean made, he's a game manager. He's game manager enough, I think, to bring it and win this one against a rookie QB who I like a lot, but give Burrow a little time.
So here's the thing. I got a couple things on this. So Tyrod Taylor, I know he doesn't get a lot of credit. He's not a horrible quarterback. Game manager is probably a good way of putting it. He's one of those guys where he's mobile, but he's not mobile enough. He's got a good arm, but not good enough. He's on the cusp of he could be this like really good quarterback, but then he's never been able to take that jump. This is a good team for him because they have a lot of weapons. I think he can manage the game with this team. They have Keenan Allen, Eckler, like you said, Hunter Henry. They have some good players on this team. I think they have a great defense. This is the key to me. Joey Bosa and that defense. They have a great secondary, a great defensive front, and Joe Burrow. I think he'll have a great debut because Chargers, they're not the most. They're not an opponent that can close out games, and I think they'll let them stick around. And Burrow's going to throw. You're right. Mixon, I'm not too high on him. I think they'll stack the box, take him away. They don't really have too many weapons. A.J. Green coming off a whole injured season. Is A.J. Green really going to be A.J. Green? Oh, no, he's probably slowed down, and it's going to take him some time to build some rapport with Burrow. I think Burrow will toss 2 touchdowns, but he'll also toss 2 interceptions because he's a rookie. He's making his first game. There'll be some jitters. I think Burrow's going to be a great quarterback.
Yeah,
I do really like his talent in time. I think Tyrod Taylor manages his game enough, and Joey Bosa on defense is just going to be too much for the rookie.
Yeah.
He's going to feed him he's going to eat him. The big bear is going to eat Joe. He's going to eat the Tiger King, and I think the Chargers win on the road.
And Tyrod Taylor likes to dump it off to his running backs. Maybe not to the degree Rivers locked onto Eckler, but I think anything Eckler loses in receptions and receiving work, he gains back in rushing yards because Eckler didn't run for over 600 yards, like ever.
Yeah.
I forget what his highest total was. It was like 4 something or 560 or something like that. I don't have that top of my head. If anybody knows that, drop it. What's Eckler's biggest rushing season? It's like 560, something like that. So if he runs for even 800, 900 yards, I don't expect Eckler to be a 1,400-yard running back. You don't want him to. He could get hurt at that. He feels like more of an Alvin Kamara type back than a workhorse between the tackles, Nick Chubb or something. So give Eckler 800, 900 yards rushing the football at his new starting gig, type volume. But that makes up for, a slightly scary decline in receptions or receiving yards or something like that. So give him like an 800 and 800, 900, 800 type season. And I think double-digit touchdowns. And Tyrod Taylor is going to help keep him in that double-digit touchdown, zone in 2020. Yeah. So.
All right, game of the week. This might be one of the game of the years. Opening the NFL week. This is the Buccaneers versus the Saints. Tom Brady, Drew Brees. This is one of their 2 matchups. This is going to be crazy. This is the first week of the NFL, and you got Buccaneers, Saints. Come on, man. This should have been Monday Night Football, Sunday Night Football. I can't believe it's not, but this is going to be one damn game. Tom Brady makes his debut in Tampa Bay. Gronkowski. You got Emmanuel Sanders making his debut in New Orleans. You got Drew Brees, Michael Thomas, Alvin Kamara. All the matchups, the marquee matchups. This is going to be a fun game. The big key for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is Tom Brady going to be able to go right in and have that chemistry with Godwin, with Evans? I mean, this crazy offense he has. Is Tom Brady going to be able to come over there and take over and make him a team? We've talked about this so much. I think that the Buccaneers are going to go on the road and upset the Saints. Boom.
Man, such a good game. Like I love when anybody says like, how do you predict the Saints to win or how do you predict the Bucks to win? Like this is gonna be a tough game.
Both are good teams.
This is the game of the week. Brady versus Breeze. It's in New Orleans, so I think right then and there I start off with okay. I don't know how to pick this game yet, so I'm going to lean New Orleans because it's in New Orleans. But like you said earlier, and like I said earlier, and like we've been talking about for like a week now, we don't know if anybody has home field advantage right now. We just don't know how that's going to look. So I'm going to say that given that Brady still needs to build rapport, I feel like the safer way to lean would be New Orleans. So like if I had to make a pick and I'm in Vegas and I got to drop something, I'm leaning the Saints because I feel like there's more continuity there built in from week one. But give Brady a little bit of time. Give Brady, I think, 10 plus wins easy in that offense in 2020. I love Tom Brady. In Dynasty at that like late range where people are like totally passing on him still, and I'm thinking he's got top 5 to 7 QB value in fantasy in 2020. So give me the Saints. Give Kamara 100 total yards and a score. Give Mike Thomas 100 and a score. Give Breeze a really solid game. Maybe he throws for 3 TDs in this one, but it will be. What do you think? Give me predictions stat wise for Evans, Godwin, and Brady.
So I know the Saints are definitely easily the safer pick. Like I'm going out on a limb and making a bold prediction. This is a bold prediction, taking the Buccaneers to beat them. I may not be that bold, but the Buccaneers, like I've talked about before, it's their defense. Can their defense be good enough to help them win games? Brady and them, as they progress in the offense and build up chemistry and rapport, they'll get better. I really feel that they're going to come in on the road and surprise this thing. I have this gut feeling. I have a gut feeling. But prediction, I say Tom Brady tosses about 350 yards, 3 touchdowns. He's going to have a pair to Evans, a touchdown to Godwin. It's going to be a fun game. Gronk might have it. Actually, maybe 4 touchdowns. Gronk's going to get a touchdown. He's going to get in on the show.
Yeah.
And then you're going to have Kamara's going to have a touchdown. Michael Thomas, Manuel Sanders.
What's the score? What's the score of this game?
I got 47-42 Tampa Bay in a barn burner.
I think you're right, man.
I don't know. We'll see. It's probably gonna be like 10-3. Couple more.
GM who's suggesting in Dynasty? What are you talking about? You talking about me? Okay, so I think let's see here. I think we're at Cardinals at 49ers. Oh, this is the game, dude.
We've talked about this before. Like I said, it's going to be a very close game. I got respect for Kyler Murray. I got respect for Kenyon Drake and DeAndre Hopkins. It's going to be a tough game. The Cardinals have improved. They're a young team. They gave the Niners fits. It is in Levi Stadium, but again, is home field going to even be an advantage this season, especially early on? Jimmy G, the Niners, they're coming in, revenge on their mind. They call it the revenge tour. We upgraded some spots. We lost some key players. Trent Williams, they've upgraded the team. Brandon Ayuk, how's he gonna fit into this offense? Debo, second year, he's going for blood. Nick Bosa, second year, he was a defensive rookie of the year. Kittle, big time season coming in, and there's just so much to talk about with the Niners. I won't bore you with the Niners. It's going to be a tough game because Arizona is getting better. They drafted some good players. Isaiah Simmons, very intriguing player. Their defense was pretty, serviceable, and it's only gotten better from last season. It's going to be a tough game, division game. I think it's going to be a very close, down-to-the-wire game. I think the Niners eke it out, man, but I think the Cardinals are going to give them a hard time, man. I really do.
Yeah. I mean, it's running quarterbacks, right? Running quarterbacks are that's the kryptonite. That's the answer.
And we don't have DeForest Buckner, so I like Kinlaw. This is the welcome to the NFL for Kinlaw, and how's he going to handle playing against Murray? So he's got to adjust into that team. It's going to be a fun game. I think Kyler Murray's going to handle his business and do well, but I think overall the Niners are just going to have too much for them at the end of the day. You got Mostert, you got Kittle, you got Debo, you got Ayuk. It's going to be a fun game, man.
Who suggested him in Dynasty, GM? I'm not sure what you're talking about. What did I say? Dynasty for Brady. Not to mention, in Dynasty, there are still two ways to look at this. in Dynasty. Is this GMM that I know? Because this doesn't feel like the same GMM that I'm used to. Because he's a little combative tonight. In Dynasty, you're still playing for the now. So I didn't say take him in. I don't know where you said take him in Dynasty or where you said said take him in Dynasty. But in Dynasty, you still are going to draft him, in a certain range, because if you're playing for the now, you're still getting a lot of points from him in 2020. So it depends how you're built. If you've got some kind of developmental QB thing going on, then he absolutely deserves to be taken in Dynasty. Where in Dynasty? So I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's going on, GMM, but yes, I do know what Dynasty is, bro. I pretty much invented Dynasty content back in 2003-4. So not really hearing you and what you're throwing down right now. You're talking to the guy who had fantasy content out in 2003-4 for Dynasty before Dynasty was even thought of, popular, or used. So just letting you know where you are right now. Okay, so Cowboys at the Rams. Oh, let me talk on the Cardinals real quick. I do believe the Cardinals will give them a run for the money in this one, but I do believe this will be the game that the Niners win of the two matchups, the two games, the two played games in 2020 of this matchup. Because later on in the year, is it week like 16 or 17?
Week 16. We already talked about it. I think they split. You guys win week 16. I'll give you it.
Yeah. I think we're looking at a win there.
I agree. Next game, Cowboys at the Rams. Sunday Night Football. The Rams are horrible. Jared Goff, I can't believe it. The Rams have done everything bad as a franchise after losing the Super Bowl. They have not. They've ran their team down the drain. If you're a Rams fan, I'm sorry. Your GM is terrible. They've made bad decisions. I hate to say it, but Cowboys, they got a good team. We know they have great talent. And they got a new coach. I think that's going to be the key for this team because Garrett was horrible. He couldn't manage that team. I like Dak. I like CeeDee Lamb. I like Amari Cooper. I like Gallup. I like Zeke Elliott. I think they're going to come in this game and absolutely dominate the Rams. I think they're going to beat them by like 20 points. I really do. I think they're going to beat the piss out of them.
Yeah. I think the Rams, from their logo to the usage of Todd Gurley, this franchise is a mess.
Logo.
Give me Dallas all day long. That might be the lock of the week.
And I hate the Cowboys so much, and I'm sitting here telling you the Cowboys are just gonna crap all the Rams. They're gonna dominate them, Smitty.
Okay, so Steelers at the Giants. I'm thinking the Giants are gonna win this one. I think that how good Big Ben looks in his return will definitely be, the key component here that we might want to reevaluate. So I'm not going to lock anything in here. But as of right now, Danny Dimes is on the rise. Barkley's going to have a top. I think he's going to be the number one running back in fantasy football in 2020. I think he's going to go off in terms of PPR and obviously on the ground. But I think he's going to have that monster PPR outing that you expect from like a McCaffrey. Like he's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I think that Danny Dimes is going to have a breakout party here. I think I was wrong on Danny Dimes. I admit it. I thought he was, everybody kind of thought it was a joke when they picked him, but I'm really, really liking this kid from what I've seen so far. And we saw flashes of both good and bad. He was a rookie. Rookies, that's what we're going to see out of Burrow. So if anybody's expecting Burrow to just be lights out all year, they've got another thing coming. But we'll be able to differentiate between the good moments and bad moments and realize that, hey, big picture, Burrow has what it takes. We'll know that in 1 year. And I think that's what we have out of Danny Dimes. So Slayton's going to have a better than expected year. They still may do something. They may bring somebody in via trade or something. But I think that with Evan Ingram probably starting healthy, maybe he gets hurt at some point. With Slayton, with Barkley, he's got enough weapons. Those are enough weapons to compete with other teams that have really good quarterbacks. And people don't say, oh, where are the weapons on those teams? So I'm liking Dimes. I'm liking this game. I think Juju bounces back, but I think the Steelers have been kind of a mess from all of last year moving into this year, and it's going to be hard for them to just be firing on all cylinders. I think it takes some time.
That's a good. I'm gonna play devil's advocate again. We've been disagreeing a lot tonight. I like Danny Dimes, and I think he will be good, and I respect him just like you. All the points you said, I agree with. But not this game. I think It's going to take them some time. The Giants were still a horrible team last season. It's not going to be overnight where they become, where they're not just going to win games like that and then just go crazy. I think Saquon Barkley's great. Last season the injury slowed him down a bit. I think he's going to be the number one running back in the NFL and all those things you said. They have Slayton. They got a great team. Is Ingram going to be healthy? If he is, kid's going to be a stud. I love him. Danny Dimes will become a good quarterback. But you got to remember something. You're not giving the Steelers defense the credit they deserve. I don't care if Big Ben is not in form or whatever. He's going to take some time, and I think Juju's going to bounce back this season. It's going to take some time. They got some players on offense that are decent. They got a good enough offense. Big Ben, he's a veteran quarterback. He knows how to get it in. He can get in there, and he'll figure it out. He doesn't need as much time as a younger quarterback. But this Steelers defense, I saw them up close and personal last year when I watched the game. They're for real, man. Ever since they got Minkah Fitzpatrick, that defense changed. They're so good. Their coach. And the other thing you got to talk about is Mike Tomlin. He doesn't get a lot of credit, but they've been good for years and years, and they've had Mike Tomlin. Before that, it had Bill Cowher. It's a team that has had consistent coaching over the years, and I think that he's going to come in. They're going to game plan. They're going to know how to stop Danny Dimes. And I see the Steelers coming into New York, and they're going to steal a game on the road because of their defense. Their defense is very good. It's hard to beat them. T.J. Watt, Minkah Fitzpatrick, and all the other guys on that team, they have a very, very good defense, and I think they're going to win because of that defense.
Okay, let's see here. Where are we at? We're at last game. Titans at the Broncos. I think I've got my pick here. What are you thinking? I mean, I could definitely see it being argued.
I think it's going to be a closer game than expected, but I think the Titans are going to win. They're just going to be too good. They got, Derrick Henry. They got A.J. Brown. We both love A.J. Brown. You know the vibe. They got a pretty solid defense. The Titans almost made it to the Super Bowl last season. They're not going to lose to the Broncos on week one because their quarterback situation.
Yeah,
exactly. The quarterback situation is still a mystery. Is Locke going to be anything worth starting? Is he going to be something in the NFL? This is the year we find out. They got weapons.
I'm not feeling it, man.
But I don't know if he's going to develop. They got Melvin Gordon. They have the weapons. They have offensive. They've given him the platter. Can he take that platter and deliver it? That's going to be the determination. So we're going to know. We don't know what Locke can give you, but we know what the Titans can give you. Comeback player of the year. They got Derrick Henry, beast. A.J. Brown. That defense is good. They have a good team. Titans are going to come in. They're probably favored to win their division. They're going to win by at least 10 points on the road. The Broncos are not a good team right now. They got good players, though.
And I think when it comes to this kind of thing, you got to think about it. And especially if you're let's say you're in Vegas and you're trying to drop something on one of these games, just think about it and be like, okay, what team has already proven it, thus far? What team's leaving with momentum? What team has good continuity? And it's like the Titans have all that, whereas the Broncos, you're unsure. They've got a new running back who I think will do well, but you have Locke adjusting to all of that, and then Locke trying to develop with a new rookie wide receiver. A lot of change, a lot of unknowns. A young team, they can have hiccups and bumps in the road, and it's in Denver, but you said, we don't know if that matters. I just think the Titans are coming into this game with a huge advantage, and anything could happen, bro. That's why on a good week you miss just 2 games when you're doing pick'em. This could be one of those games. Any one of these could be that game that we're missing. So,
and you hit the nail on the head. Is they're a young team, so they're going to go through growing pains.
Yeah. So, and fantasy-wise, I didn't give a couple predictions in the last group there. I got kind of sidetracked. But Kyler Murray up against the 49ers. Give me. What do you think rushing? You think he could run for 50 yards, 50 yards?
Yeah,
60 yards?
He's going to run on us 50, 60 yards, and I'm going to be irritated, screaming at the TV, and he's going to have a touchdown on the ground.
Yeah, so let's give him
have 2 touchdowns on the air.
Let's give him a shot for 3 total TDs. Nowhere near 300 yards, but he's going to have 240 passing, 220 passing, something like that, and then 60 rushing and a touchdown. Give Kenyon Drake, my boy Kenyon Drake, probably more yards and points than you're gonna say is gonna occur.
Kenyon Drake will
give me
have 80 yards on the ground,
okay.
20 yards in the air, touchdown.
Okay.
He'll be good. DeAndre
We're,
Hopkins is going to have 70 to 90 yards, a touchdown, and a bloody nose by Jimmy Ward.
we're on the same page then. 100 yards for Drake and a touchdown total. 100 total yards for Drake and a touchdown.
Yeah. Got it.
Hopkins, give him, 80 and a score, easy.
Yeah, easy. And he's going to have like 7, 8 catches. He's going to
Yeah,
dominate.
I can't wait for the Cardinals this year,
Oh,
man.
my God. It's going to be a tough game, bro.
It's going to be
a
good.
tough game.
Give Kittle. What do you Kittle's going to have?
Real quick, Larry Fitzgerald, he always owns the Niners. Larry Fitzgerald's going to have like 65 yards and a touchdown. He's going to get another damn touchdown against us. He's so good. He always plays us good, man.
If I remember correctly, the Cardinals are one of the worst against the tight end position.
Yeah,
so what's Kittle
That's
have?
why they got Simmons. Simmons, though, he said
that's true.
he's designed to stop Kittle. We'll see what's going to happen. I think Kittle's going to go for 130 yards and 2 touchdowns. He's going to go off, bro. He's going off.
You heard it here.
You heard 130 yards, 2 tutties.
Get your Kittle shares.
You remember last season what he did to Budda Baker? He's going to do the same thing to Isaiah Simmons this season. Welcome to the NFL, baby.
On the Rams side, 60 and a touch out of both Woods and Kupp. And I don't even know that Goff's going to do that well, but I mean, that feels like a safe bet with both those wide receivers. Past that, I'm not going near the... I think Darrell Henderson's the guy to own out of that backfield, which, again, gets me crap every time I talk about it, but I don't care. The door's cracked open for him. Cam Akers isn't going to get anything early on. If you want to back Cam Akers for the long term this year in terms of the season, I get it. I understand why. But, in this game, Henderson's not even worth starting yet. I hope to God I walk out of week 1 going, get him in your lineups moving forward. But I just can't. I don't, in good conscience, can't tell you guys I have any good feelings at all for this rushing attack whatsoever. So Rams, I stay away from pretty much everybody but Higbee. I like Higbee at tight end.
That's about it.
Yeah, give Zeke Elliott 110 and 2 scores in this one, maybe 120 on the ground and 2 scores. Give Dak a good. What do you think, Dak? 250 and what? 2 or 3?
He's gonna get 300 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
He's gonna go crazy.
What's CeeDee Lamb doing his rookie debut though?
He'll give you 75 yards and a touchdown.
You think he scores in his debut?
I do.
They're excited about him, and I think they want to use him right away.
They do.
I like him. I like him as the number 1 wide receiver in this draft class right now. I like Judy more heading in, but situation's really important, man.
Situation.
And
CD found himself in a good position, man. 100%.
Yeah, I'm thinking CD's gonna be the guy to own out of this wide receiver class. I really have a really good feeling about him. You said that you do think he has the most bust potential, right?
He has the biggest bust potential.
But doesn't mean you don't like him. You're just warning people.
Doesn't mean I don't like him. Doesn't mean that he's... I'm just saying, if he busts...
Yeah. Like, for example, Dalvin Cook's got big bust potential because of injury, but he's got equally, if not more, upside. So don't always take that as if we don't like somebody. And then
I love CeeDee Lamb, dude.
Yeah.
People said I don't because I like... This thing, like during draft season, everything. Oh, you're just a Judy fan. You don't like CeeDee. No, I thought he was better, but I think CeeDee Lamb landed in a better position.
Mari Cooper, I'm torn on because I think he's such a vanishing act. I'm not wanting to start him in this one, but start him. I'm not wanting to predict big things for him. Start him if you've got him. You're drafting this guy as like a 3rd rounder, so you have to start him. But I mean,
you got to start him.
I'm trading him and selling high.
Hey,
I don't want him in my lineup. Okay.
I got a call coming in.
Okay, later, man.
Okay. All right, my man.
That is Dr. Raj, the man, the myth, the legend. I'm going to probably wrap it up here too, guys. I appreciate everybody joining for this, what has it been, an hour and 20 minute now, talk on week 1 predictions for these NFL teams with this week 1 schedule out. Super pumped about the week 1 schedule. I love a lot of these players. Why does he think he's bust potential? I don't, Jaws. I don't think CeeDee Lamb's got bust potential. I was merely explaining Dr. Raj's stance that he was telling everybody that he thought CeeDee Lamb would have 100 or a touchdown and I forget what he said, 60 yards, 70 yards as a rookie. But he did say earlier, I was referencing what he had said that CeeDee Lamb had the most bust potential in this draft. I don't know why he feels that way. If he feels like it's because he lacks something, I think he's explained it before. But I don't want to speak for him. I think CeeDee Lamb doesn't have bust potential myself, but that's why we play the game. I think CeeDee Lamb's got it. And I think CeeDee Lamb had it entering the draft. It wasn't just a situation that made him amazing. He was arguably in the conversation of the number 1 rookie wide receiver coming out of this 2020 draft class, and his situation kind of kind of solidified it. So I think that's a good way to look at it. That like it, most of us had him in the top 2 anyway. And you may like Denver better. I don't. I think Jerry Jeudy's in a I don't want to say less than ideal situation because things can change really quickly. Locke could end up proving me wrong or being very good, but I feel like there's not as much volume there, and there's as many mouths to feed. Whereas CeeDee Lamb is going to be in a little bit higher paced offense with a wide receiver, in my opinion, and Amari Cooper is capable of being passed very easily, because I feel like he is a vanishing act, and he's proven that in the past. You could argue he's different now in Dallas, and I get that. I respect that. But personally, I just feel like he is capable of being passed. I think in 2 years' time, 2 years from today, it will be almost laughable that people were worried about how is CeeDee Lamb ever going to become the number 1 wide receiver in this offense, given how good. You're delusional if you think what Daniel? Are you talking to me? What's with everybody's negativity in here today? Like, these are all predictions. Maybe Daniel's talking to somebody else. Oh, you're talking to Renee? Renee, stop causing problems. Is it you, Renee? Everybody play nice. Play nice. We've got a lot of people getting heated in here. I didn't realize the week 1 schedule was going to be a topic where everybody's getting heated and bothered. But everybody's got predictions. Somebody, I think I saw you guys bickering about Dak or Andy Dalton. Now, I'll say this. I think I saw something about Renee saying that Dak better not give Andy Dalton an open door because Dalton won't release the job. Now, Renee, I disagree with you. I think Dalton doesn't threaten him long term. But that's an opinion, and I respect your opinion. So everybody needs to just chill on each other. Daniel and Renee, bro-fisted out. Let's get this thing back on track. I'm out of here for tonight. I appreciate all of you joining in. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that thumbs up on your way out. It really does help. It helps the show big time. So we got, my thing's kind of freezing up here, but I think we have like 50, 60 people in here, or we did. Hit the thumbs up on your way out. Punch it, smash it. And once this video processes, leave a comment, because all this live chat will be there and you can watch it. But the comments will be zeroed out, and it's your chance to ask me a question, because I pretty much respond to all early comments that hit my channel. I try to respond to every comment that I get on all my videos. But definitely, if you're commenting early on, like the first day or two, I'm pretty much going to answer every one of your questions. So it's a good way to get direct access right away. It helps the channel with engagement, which is a huge helpful thing for me to get this channel growing, so I can deliver more content to you on a regular basis. So I'm out of here for tonight. I appreciate all of you. Let's see if I can. Everything's frozen on my stream. Maybe I'm not leaving. Maybe I'm not leaving tonight. Let's see if I can get this unfrozen. It looks like we're doing a 24-hour live stream. No, I'm just kidding. Oh. Well, we'll force quit this the old-fashioned way. But let me see if I can get it going real quick. Yeah, we're going to have to force quit this. I can't even do that. Look, Renee and Daniel caused so much drama. They froze my stream. And I'm forced to sit here with you for the rest of the night. Okay, let's see if I can force quit it now. If it force quits the app.